Hello, everyone. Welcome to Echoes of Elsewhere. We are telling the story about people caught between two worlds, the modern Gothic shadows of New Eden and the dark, oppressive nightmare of Barovia. These are two places that should never touch, but somehow they do. I'm Key. I'm your GM, your keeper of secrets, and these wonderful people around me, they're the ones who are trapped in the middle.
Hi, I'm playing Professor Gregor, and he's getting way too into this Renaissance fair.
Hi, I'm Edie Jones, and I'm playing Rax Koshak, Dragonborn Bard, and somewhere Malkoviched into the corner of his mind is a very confused human named Vince.
Leah Skye, I'm playing Blake Emberlich, and she is currently a level 3 commoner.
And I'm Tony Keoni. I play Elliot Knight, who is in the body of Elliot Nightrain, currently a warlock, back in his world, a brilliant inventor of the world's greatest artificial intelligence.
And Tony, would you like to give us a recap of where we were, where we left off?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we've been exploring this town of Barovia and trying to find out what's going on here. After we had dealt with a vampire in a basement in the least combative way possible, although we did do a little bit of crime, but just a little, we decided to go to the Burgermeister's house. But along the way, we heard the crying of a woman that we dubbed Mental Health Crisis Mary, and we went to help her. When we got there, we were able to get her to come along with us. However, we were then attacked by wolves. A big battle ensued, and we eventually ran because we were going to be overrun, and we made it to the Burgermeister's home. While there, we thought we could catch our bearings. However, shortly after, we were attacked by swarms of rats and zombies. And upon closer inspection, we determined that those zombies were, in fact, some of the goers of the circus that we were here to investigate originally.
Cool, that's perfect. And where we are right now is you are in the home of Ismark and Irina. The front door has been smashed in. There is the remnants of a zombie in sweatpants and a hoodie and a lanyard from Changeable Entertainment who's lying on the ground. You can hear the sound of Mary crying and screaming from the main room where the rats have swarmed in. Ismark and Irina are standing nearby. What are you doing right now in this moment?
I think right away Elliot's trying to catch his breath because that combat was a lot more dangerous than he had realized, and didn't know the limitations of his own ability and felt it so much more difficult to fight something that close to him, while one of his party members was kind of dealing with some kind of a mental health crisis of their own.
And with that, let me just jump in for a second. As GM, out of character, Shawn, the person playing Ivan, will not be with us for the next couple of sessions. So during that time, I'm going to fade him into the background. We aren't going to put him at risk, but he's not going to be here to help us as well. So he will be back, just not today. All right.
He's out walking the robot dog, you know.
Sometimes you have to walk the robot dog, yes.
So I guess after a moment, he's going to look around and kind of survey and just make sure everyone else is all right. And he's going to, at this point in time, he realizes just how exhausted he actually is. He's going to flag, hey, everybody. I don't know if you all noticed, but I think we found one of the attendees of the circus here. And he's going to point out the zombie's body.
And Rax, who's kind of going like this to his doubles, being like, why are you still here? The battle's over. I need you guys to go away, trying to dismiss them. And they're all just doing the same thing back at him. And he just like, okay, whatever, you do the thing. And he turns and inspects the zombie's body.
I think as you're doing that, as you waving towards your mirror images of yourself, they do wave back at you and then they fade away.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right, good. I don't need those anymore. I don't part of, Vince in the back of his mind is like, I would rather look at fewer dragons at the moment. It's enough being one dragon rather than 4.
This is probably the first time Vince has truly seen what he looks like in this world, because you haven't come up to a mirror.
Nope.
Like, each of you have seen each other, but no one
and their reactions to us. Yeah,
no one's had a chance to really look in the mirror and see what they look like.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll sand for it?
Oh, no, I think Vince is already off the deep end.
Okay, that's cool. He's gonna go back to the real world and be like, "Wah!"
He's just gonna push this one down
it.
for a little bit. We're just gonna push it all down, and we'll deal with that later.
Yeah. But yeah, he will inspect the zombie and see, look at the changeable entertainment badge and see if he can identify like who this is.
And I will clarify. I think we know that if you encounter with the Call of Cthulhu rules and sanity rules, you can only suffer so much sanity loss from a specific incident or a specific creature. I feel that Vince has been overwhelmed. More things are going to happen, but the Rax-Vince relationship is not going to cause you any more additional sanity at the moment.
Right.
Something might change that, but right now I think
that's going to be fun to roleplay later.
I think right now you're kind of stable in that world.
Looking at the body, can we tell which wounds were inflicted post-mortem versus pre-mortem?
Question.
I'm going to have you make a medicine check for that, if you don't mind. I mean, clearly the arm lying like 3 feet away from it was to happen just recently.
I'll give him the help action because of my background in general.
Sure.
If that's okay.
It's weird that he's wearing sweatpants. Like, look at us. And he's just himself?
Very good. He is exactly like you'd expect to see him. In fact, when you reviewed the videos at the circus before you got sucked into here and you saw them going in, you saw 2 people kind of dressed in these black hoodies, black sweatpants going into it too. That were part of the stage crew. The people who moved around the shadows and the darkness and got things moved around there, stayed out of the light.
And while I'm putting this roll together, is it all right if I take advantage of the guidance spell while I'm here?
I think so. I think you've talked about like doing this, and because you're kind of planning it out, you can work together, get advantage, and use guidance on this.
All right, let me.
I could
roll
give you
twice
bardic
then,
inspiration as well if you need it.
and then roll a d4.
It's looking good so far.
Yeah, it's a 16 on the dice, and then +3 for guidance is a 19 for medicine.
Very good. As you are looking at this person, you see that there are burn marks from the Eldritch Blast. There is a clear hole in the top of his head where somebody with some anger issues might have drove a dagger into it. There's a lopped off arm. These were all after it rose up. Okay. You also see in its chest your first thought is almost like an autopsy scar. There is a cut down from the base of the throat down to the belly, and then opened up to a T in the center. His shirt is torn, and most of what would be inside of him, his internal organs, are currently missing. You don't know what the cause of death is, just because this is just a weird situation. But
yeah, I mean,
that's a
all
pretty
of his
good
organs
guess.
Are gone.
That's either a pretty good guess that was the cause of death, or it was done immediately afterwards.
Death
So-
by deorganization.
Yeah, and
No.
that I think with Elliot looking over your shoulder, Dr. Elliot Knight looking over your shoulder in the background here, that your thought is that this person was eviscerated while he was still alive.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, he was, if I understand you correctly, then dissected alive.
It does appear that something like that happened. Very clean cuts, by the way, not ragged tears, but very clean cuts. And
we unfortunately can't look at his hands to see if there was any kind of source of struggle because all the damage that he took from us. Huh.
Well,
That's fucked.
yeah.
Actually, I'm going to look at his wrists. Does it look like there's any signs of being secured or like bound?
yeah, and I'm not going to make you roll for that. There are clear signs of rope burns on his wrist.
Okay. So, awake, the rope burns are going to indicate that he tried to escape, but he was basically held against his will. Who could have done something like this?
I
That's
have
a really good question.
In the book that we borrowed temporarily, there were descriptions of a great many different kinds of gruesome rituals. Does this match anything that Professor Gregor might have seen while he was assimilating that knowledge as quickly as he could?
I'll make a history check. I think this is probably going to be like a 23 on this. It's not, because you didn't have a lot of time to really read through the book.
Sure.
I'll try and game it again. Can I give him advantage since I also read through that book?
you two of you are brainstorming as you're going.
We're just like brainstorming, like talking through it together. That horrifying book that we read earlier.
That horrifying book.
I just
really
imagine you guys brainstorming the book as you're like going. when you read the book, it was like really fast. Like,
did this happen on one of the 7 pages you turned to?
Let's see.
And I can give you a bardic inspiration if you need it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Aiming for 23.
I'll take
we
the bardic inspiration. I'll take guidance.
It's a 1d6.
Yeah.
So add a 1d6 to your roll.
All right.
D6, D4.
That
it's
first one
already
might
gonna
almost
be
do
there.
it here. So let's see. Roll a D4 and a D6.
Come on, we need 4 between the two.
Let's see. Oh!
Come on, Gia. Really?
One off. It's 22.
So 22 is still not bad. I mean, 22 is not bad. But it's not going to be like the great level of detail that you were kind of hoping for. But I will tell you this. You did see this in the book. So there was someone splayed out on a altar, arms tied to the side, some cultist cutting into him. You don't remember the details of like what the cult was, what the ritual was for. You don't remember those details, but you know it's in the book. And you do know where the book is. Keep that in mind too.
Indeed.
It's not, the book isn't destroyed and gone forever.
Yes. This was certainly in the book. And no, I remember, the only thing that I remember, it's the book said something like in this ritual the subject is taken apart while still alive. May the gods have mercy on them. But beyond that, I don't remember what else it said.
Yeah, I will give you the pain of the ritual, the fact that the person is still alive is very important to power it.
Well, need to find that book.
And I want to jump back to Blake because she said something I thought was super impactful earlier. You all changed coming through the mist. This guy is the same as what he was before. He did not change. He still has a plastic lanyard around his neck, like with little black string on it. It's exactly the way you'd expect it to find in the normal setting. None of you have anything that you brought with you, except possibly your silent companion who's speaking in your head.
But what do you think that means?
They must have come here a different way. But that makes sense because what we know is that they disappeared from the tent. They didn't go into a different tent and then go through a fog tunnel after speaking to a tarot woman.
Yeah.
We just know that they were in the tent and then they weren't.
I mean, where are we right now? Like, yeah.
Oh, you mean where are our human bodies?
Yes.
That's a really good question. I mean,
we could just be here, or maybe we're drooling on the floor. Like,
I don't know. The only thing that I can tell you is the human inside my brain is utterly confused about what's going on and is of no help.
As you as a group begin to ponder what's happening to the other yous, the ones back at New Eden, I'd like to have everyone make a sanity check.
Okay, you remember where I put that on
There's
the
just a
D&D?
detective standing in front
If
of
you
us,
fail,
waving at us while we're
If
not
you
doing
fail,
anything.
it's a D4 a sanity loss.
Okay, yeah, all right.
See,
Any lost on success or
hard success.
No loss on success here. It is just as you're thinking about what could be going on with your bodies, where you're at. Are you lying in a ditch somewhere? Have you been taken to a mental hospital? Are you in a hospital? Are you dead? All these thoughts start to go through you. And at the moment, we don't know. We don't know what's going on with our other bodies. Is anyone traumatized by the thoughts? Anyone failed their sanity roll?
I succeeded.
I
You guys
succeeded.
are
Hard
such
success,
a
even.
sane group of people. It's so disgusting.
I think Elliot's like, we talked about this earlier, like he's compartmentalizing certain things, and right now we have to focus on what's in front of us, and he has those thoughts, and he goes, you know what, I need to deal with that later. That's not what's happening right in front of us.
I imagine with Vince, he starts to worry about it, and Rax says, don't care about him. It just takes over.
Rex says, shut up. Shut up. I don't know why you're in my head in the first place. Just
stop.
Get back in your corner.
Really quickly, I think that each of you, within a span of a second of each other, hears what sounds like Elliot speaking, but it's actually like a thought that he thought he was having to himself. And it is basically, we need to be careful about talking about these other worlds with people around us. And I've basically accidentally activated my awakened mind, where one at a time, I psychically transmit that information to you. However, I thought I was just thinking that to myself. It's like, we need to be very careful about this.
I think Rax looks at you and says, did you just say that telepathically?
What?
Rax now has 3 voices in his head. I just wanted to be...
Yeah.
And then just to Rax this time, I'll say that I ended with you and just be like, test 1, 2.
Well, yeah, I heard that.
Okay, well, everyone keep that thought in mind. And he's just going to kind of like look like he's confused for a second and shake his head and get back to looking at the body.
The door here is open because it's pretty much gone. The zombie had bashed it in. And then when Elliot used his magic to throw the zombie back, he smashed in the door frame. This door is just hanging there, barely by a hinge. Beyond the door, you see the low wall that surrounds their house. You see the broken gate hanging almost similar to the door right now, where it's just hanging by one hinge, hanging awkwardly. It isn't capable of closing. But what draws your eyes is the light. Because when you looked out the window when this attack started, the lights were all going out on the street. But now there's a light that is burning out there. But this light is not coming from a lantern on someone's porch or on the street. It's not coming from a home. There's a black carriage parked near the gate. And you can see a rider the driver is sitting on top of it. There is 2 large, majestic black horses. And in the back of the carriage, there's a window open, and you see the silhouette of a man who is watching. And there's the crack of the whip, and the carriage starts to move forward.
Towards us or just like down the road?
Down the road.
I want to try to, I don't know, look carefully at both the driver and the rider, see if I can, what kind of details I can glean before he goes away.
I'm going to have you make Rax. I'm going to have Rax make a perception check with this, but I'm going to have you make it with advantage.
Okay. I can do that. One sec. Perception.
17's
Okay, so that is a 17, yeah.
17's pretty good. So with the 17, you can't see this person's face. It's kind of shrouded in darkness. You can't see the person inside. The light is just casting a shadow on the window so you can see outside of it. But Vince drew a picture while we were at the circus. And he can't see the face. But Vince in the back of Rax's mind is going, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. That is the person that was meeting with Lance. That's the person who you couldn't get a good image of going into the cameras.
All right, so I think I tell everybody that, saying, look, that's the guy. That's the guy from the circus. The human inside my brain is screaming that at me.
He's here?
How far away
I'm
are they?
trying to imagine now the inside of that carriage with the Lord of Darkness, 2 zombies, and about 100 rats, all in the same carriage, driving down the road on the way over here. Nightmare blunt rotation. Sorry.
I just now have a vision of a bunch of clowns coming out of the carriage, like just falling out one after the other. So this carriage is fairly decent. It would easily hold 8 people. It is about 60, 70 feet down the road. It's not racing away. It's moving at a measured pace away from where you're at. And as it's going away from Barovia, the street lights begin to flicker. The lanterns begin to flicker, and they begin to come back on.
Did Irina or her brother see that carriage? Or are they still in the house, like, doing something?
They are toward the back of the room that you're in, so they couldn't see directly out the door. I'm assuming you guys have all gathered around the body, which is near the door, and they're a little bit farther back. So they haven't seen it unless you draw attention to it.
I think there's some things that we should talk to them about. Like, I mean, not to... I want to know how much they know. And also, we got to figure out what to do with Mary, and what we're doing next.
Who is still crying in the back.
I'm going to go to her. And
I will also go to her since she still thinks I'm her husband.
I think while they're doing the talking, Professor Gregor will go to the front door, and I assume it's permitted. I don't know how big the breaks are, but start making use of the mending cantrip to try to reaffix the door to.
So I've always been pretty lenient with the mending cantrip. Is that if it's something that you could, given time and appropriate tools, even if it takes multiple castings of it, I will let you eventually repair what it's going to be. If it's something that, like, man, even if you had the right tools, it's probably not going to happen. This isn't going to make any difference for you. But in this case, trying to fix a door that's been broken, the hinges off it, we've got a few cracked boards, we've got a broken hinge. You can use mending to fix those type of things.
Okay.
It'll be several castings of it. You'll probably spend the next I wouldn't even say 5 minutes. Because mending's pretty fast, probably the next 30 seconds to 60 seconds casting magic over the door. And as you're doing that, it begins to repair itself and rehang back up where it's at. Blake, you went back to talk to Mary, and you see Rax is following you along. Mary is sitting on the floor. She's crying. She has the doll in her hands again, and she's rocking back and forth, very much like how you found her in her home. There are about 20 dead rats lying around her. It is on the floor.
I'm going to kick away a few dead rats and then sit down, like, cross-legged near her, so just kind of like I'm at her level, and just like I'm gonna say, hey Mary, it's Blake. Hey, it's safe now. The danger is gone.
I'll sit down next to her and put an arm around her and kind of comfort her.
She immediately snaps, pulls the doll away from you, and smacks you in the head with it. You left me. I can't believe you left me again. You said you weren't going to leave me again.
I'm protecting you, Mary.
And she scoots away from you.
Fair enough.
Hey, that sounds like a problem solved to me.
I hear that you're really scared right now, Mary. We're gonna try to make things better. Is there's something I could do for you right now? Could we get you to? Are you tired? Are you hungry?
I miss Gertrude. Have you seen Gertrude? She wandered off. I haven't seen her for a few days.
That sounds
You know where
really
she is?
hard. Not yet, but we're looking for her. And we want you to take. Want to help you in the meantime. Have you had anything to drink recently?
Looking at her, her lips are dry. Her skin is paler than what you would expect it to be. She looks like she hasn't been taking care of herself for the last couple weeks. Also, there's no indication that she's taken the time to wash her face, clean her hands. It's just operating on autopilot for the last couple of days.
Mary, do you have any friends here in town? Family? People who care about you? People that we could help bring here to make things a little bit better?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't really have friends. I sew for people who need their clothes patched. I do that, and I get a few coins for that. But I don't know that we're friends. I don't. Eric is kind of nice to me.
Eric, okay.
Eric is the bartender from the Blood on the Vine bar. The one who had that far off look in his eyes when you talked to him. Much like Mary has this distant look. She's not focusing on you or the world around her. She seems to be off.
Okay. Well, maybe we can bring Eric here, or you could bring you there. I think it'd be really good if you had someone that you knew with you. And here, she's gonna fumble at her waist until she sees a water skin, and passes it to Mary.
She takes the water skin. And she looks over at Rax, and she takes the doll, and she holds it out for you to hold. Rax.
Okay, I'll take the doll carefully and gently.
Okay. And then she takes the water skin, and she takes a sip of it. She starts with a very small sip, and then when she drinks it, she realizes she has not had any water in a long time, and she's very parched, and she starts to kind of chug through your water skin, and water is spilling out around her mouth, down the front of her dress.
I'll pause and I'll stop her and say, "Look, Mary, you gotta drink carefully, slowly. Otherwise, your system will not support it. You have to be gentle with it."
Blake's gonna walk in another room and try to find a blanket.
Yeah, you walked around earlier. You found where the beds are, the bedrooms are. There are blankets all over the place, so you can find those and bring one out for her. You can find a blanket, a pillow, if you'd like.
Yeah. While she's in the other room, Blake, I'm gonna pull out a dagger and just stab a cut into the blanket, and then bring it back to Mary, and be like, "Hey, would you like this? Maybe we can get you to somewhere more comfortable."
And Ismark has come back into the room, and he has with him a sack, and he is trying to stay out of your way, but he is picking up the rats by their tail, and he's tossing them into a sack and trying to clear the room out. Irina is going to the window that had been broken, and she's looking at the chair, and the desk has been pushed back to it, and she is looking at how she's going to repair that as well. Like, that needs to be patched up. So they're going about the work of the house. Mary hands you your water skin back. About half of it is gone at this point. A lot of it is on her. You'd probably say half of what she attempted to drink, she spilled. But she, for a moment, her eyes are focused. And she looks up at you. He was here, wasn't he? He was watching us.
You know him?
Have you seen my daughter, Gertrude? And her eyes cloud over again. She loses that focus.
Vince, could you, Rax, could you help me help her up? We're gonna get her somewhere nicer.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hey, Mary, I noticed this blanket has like a rip in it. I was wondering, you said you were good at sewing. Maybe you could be really helpful. And would you be up for trying to help us fix that?
Yeah, I could do that. And she looks at the blanket and I just need a needle and some thread, and I couldn't do this. And she is following you wherever you're going. Leah, go ahead and get a point of inspiration for that.
Yeah,
the idea
that was good.
That's really good way of redirecting her and getting her focused. The social worker from the other world really came through to how do I help this person? Okay. And then as you're taking her back, looking for needle and thread, Irina comes over. She hears part of that conversation. She starts to help with that. Father Gregor, Elliot, Night Rain are near the door. You're watching this carriage drive away. You see Ismark and Irina have gone to the other room. What are you two doing right now?
Beyond fixing the door?
Yeah, sorry, the door. You have fixed the door.
Fix the door. Okay.
You have already fixed the door.
I think Professor Gregor Father Gregor will step outside. Look around. Does it seem like the house is still being besieged?
At the moment, as you look out the door, you don't spot anything, but I'm going to have, you don't see anything threatening, but I'm going to have you make a perception check just to, as you take a moment to look.
An 8.
An 8. There are no wolves or zombies or hordes of rats moving around. And you do recall seeing a horde of rats swarm out when Ivan dropped the pie. But right now it's quiet. The only thing that seems a little bit off is down the road a little bit, closer to like where the cemetery is or the church. You see a kind of a bluish glow kind of emerging from the mist and spreading out.
There's something strange going on over there. I'm not sure if it's worth checking out.
I'll glance in that direction. And you said it's coming from like near the church that we were at earlier?
Yeah. Elliot, you can go ahead and make a perception check as well as you're looking over in that direction.
Yeah, that's probably worse. That's a 4 on the die.
Okay. It almost looks like when there's a thick fog and there's a light in the fog and how it kind of diffuses through the mist. That's what it looks like, but it's a bluish white, and as you're looking at it, you can see it's getting bigger, but it's not getting bigger like a circle. It's kind of growing out, like the light that is coming from the cemetery, but it's moving forward, creating a trail behind it as it reaches the road. And you can see that the light is still kind of spreading out, but linearly not expanding in a circle.
So it kind of looks like a flashlight going forward and getting bigger that way?
That's probably a good way to think about it, except if it was a flashlight
would still grow, yeah.
You'd expect the flashlight to also, like, as you move forward, you'd get behind the flashlight and it would be dark.
Yeah.
And this is just growing longer and longer and longer. Like it's extending. If you think Star Wars and you watch the lightsaber slowly expand, you might think like that.
And does it look like it's coming towards us?
It does look like it's coming up the road toward the house that you're at. But the house is at the edge of the end of the road.
Should we ask the people who live here if that's a normal occurrence?
It's worth asking about.
All right, yeah, let's lock this up and step back in. I'm going to glance one last time
we
over
can't
at
leave
the carriage.
body in the front room. We need to put it somewhere.
And this is, I think, where the Elliot side of Elliot's brain kicks in, and he says, "All right, open it. Open the door."
I'm outside.
Right, he kicks the body out, literally just kicks it down. He says, "All right,
Gregor just
we're
like
good,
sort
right?"
of starts dragging it under the arms. I left my shovel somewhere.
You have dropped the body, pulled the body out of the door. You push it off the side. It's on the next to the side of the house.
Yeah. Pulls. Professor Gregor has a. Let's see. Hold on. Professor Gregor has a blanket of his own, and he will drag it out a little bit farther, just sort of into the yard, and cover it with the blanket. Maybe close the eyes, and then say it'll keep till morning when we can start burying things.
You close the eyes on this poor, unfortunate soul, and he starts to stand up to put the blanket over it, and the eyes open back up.
Oh, no.
There's no other sign of movement on the body.
There's a big hole in his head from when we
There
stabbed
is a big
it,
hole
right?
in his head. I don't think that's going to help us.
Yeah.
We've got rope. We'll tie the body up before we put the blanket over it.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
just to make sure it's there in the morning.
This is going to take you a little bit of time to pull the body out there, tie it up, put a blanket over it. And as this is going, that bluish light is still moving down the road towards you. And as you're looking at it, you can see outlines, silhouettes, figures moving inside of the light.
I am at this point going to shout back, Hey, Irina, or you, the other guy."
Okay. Those of you in the house can hear Elliot shouting back into the house.
I'm going to shout back, "What's up?"
And Irina comes out to look out with you at the door.
That normal?
It is. It's a nightly event here. Your friends should come. Can everyone come here? I think you should all see this.
Just a moment.
And Irina calls into the house to try and get both Blake and Rax to come out.
I do.
Yeah, what's up?
And she leads you out to the front door. You're standing out in front of the house. The door is open. Ismark is still inside with Mary. Irina standing next to you, and you can see this light, this light moving down here. As it gets closer, you see ghostly images walking in a parade. One of them looks like a warrior in heavy metal armor with a massive shield shaped like a triangle and a big sword in his hand. Behind him is a much smaller figure, someone about the size of Ivan, who is carrying a staff, and the staff has an orb on the top. And as you're looking at these people, there's another one who looks like a peasant with a pitchfork. And there's another one who is just maybe another commoner with a club in it. And you're watching them come down the street. They get to the house, the intersection before the house, and then they turn and begin to follow the path the carriage took outside to leave the outside of town. And Irina looks to you and says, "Those are the ones who tried to stop the Count. Those are the ones who failed." And as you're watching, it's 20, 30, 50, maybe over 100 people are coming through here. All types of species, all types of dress, commoners and nobles, warriors and mages coming through here. One of them looks extremely familiar. A younger version of Father Donovich is walking among the crowd.
Is that Father Donovich's son?
Yes.
Irina looks and says, I think that's Doro. I haven't seen him for a while. He went off with those people to try and... What an idiot. He must have fell. And as you're watching Doro move forward through the procession, you see others moving behind him. One's a dragonborn. One's an elf. One's a gnome with a bright red beard, luxurious. Human with a staff, leaning on it. A human with a medallion around his neck with eldritch symbols on it.
That's unnerving.
Very unnerving.
So we mentioned earlier, none of you had really looked in the mirror yet, except for Vince and Rax. And that dragonborn is Rax. That elf is Fenya. That human with the staff is Elliot. The one with the medallion, that is Father Gregor. Spirits moving through the procession of felled heroes that went against the Count. And with that, we're going to stop for this session. We're going to go back and we'll figure out what happens next. So as always, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Love playing with you guys.